Your exclusive radio home of the Utah Mammoth is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Now it's time to hear from the head coach of the Mammoth, André Tourigny.
It's that time of the week for us to be able to dip in with the head coach of the Utah Mammoth, André Tourigny, joining us on the program here. Coach and the team, of course, down in Vegas as they're going to have a back-to-back here coming up tomorrow and on Friday. First things first, you have the Vegas Golden Knights. Coach, thanks for being on with the program here with us.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
We heard tale that there may or may not have been some travel issues. Are you going to be wearing the same suit and tie to this game, and then try to just pawn it off as they were my good luck? They were my good luck charms in Dallas, since we're going to keep it going.
Let's do that. For sure, the fact we won will help. Will help to deal with it. But it is what it is. We had a little bump on the road, but we're all good. Though we were not in trouble. Our director of traveling, our team service, Griff, did a really good job. We were in good hotel in Dallas. We had to stay in Dallas overnight and travel to Vegas yesterday. So we're all good. Don't worry, we're not in trouble.
Oh, that's good.
Coach, what a great win that was. I'm sure it was worth it, whatever you had to do to enjoy that win. And, you looked at the circumstances, and you had lost 4 straight games, and you're heading to Dallas, a team with a 15-game point streak who's playing better hockey than anybody in the league. For you guys to perform that well, how important was that to not only get the win, but to win the way you did?
I think you're bang on. I think to win the way we did, that's the key on that. I think, Dallas was on the record streak. They had 15 game with point streak. So we arrived there. They had good moment in the game, but we weathered the storm. The guys stayed with it. Never felt panic. Never felt we're out of control, and we stayed with it. We played well, and we found a way to get good goal, opportunistic at the right time. So was really proud of the boys, really proud of the reaction.
You see guys like Kailer Yamamoto coming out, getting a massive goal, that deke that he had on that breakaway, getting pulled down from behind, popping right back up, and that move was just phenomenal. What have guys like Kailer Yamamoto meant to the team? Like that's a guy who you look at and you go, he'll be key in that win against Dallas. He's been awesome, and yet at the same time, it was 13 games since he scored his last goal, but those are the types of things you need to get from everybody to beat a team like Dallas down there in Dallas especially.
Absolutely, and when you want to perform, the reason why, one of the reasons why we believe we're a good team, because we know we have that depth. We know we have a lot of guys who can contribute. It's not always by points. It can be sometimes by changing momentum, a body check, or a big block shot, shutting down an opponent, or so on and so forth. There's many ways you can contribute in a team, but Yami, since the start of the season, has been a guy who always spark the line he's on. So whoever we put Yami with, there's always a spark. There's always a good performance. So he did a really good job again. And since he's with Kerfy and Stanny, and last game Stanny could not play, so Turbo win in that line with Kerfy, and they scored a big goal like you mentioned, and they played a solid game. So we're really happy and really lucky to have him on our side.
Vitek Vanacek was fantastic, and he's been fantastic since you guys came back from this break. He doesn't get many opportunities, but he's been terrific when he's been called upon. What is I don't want to say something's different with him, but why has he stepped up, and what has been the difference for him in being ready to go when he's been called upon here?
I think we often we talk about him as a good pro, as a good veteran, as a guy who's been around. And that when you have a backup who have experience, it's a tough job to be a backup, because, like you mentioned, you don't have regular start, and sometimes if you have a bad game, you will be probably 2 weeks without playing. So now you need to sit on that performance for 2 weeks, so it can be challenging mentally. But I think V did a really good job since the start of the season to prepare himself, compete every day, smile every day, show up at the rink, ready to work. So he's loved by his teammate. He inspires everybody, your confidence. You know, he did whatever he had to do to be ready for his game. So we're all very, very happy to see him perform the way he does.
You guys tomorrow, of course, facing off against a regional rival here, although they're not in the same division, but it certainly is always one of those that we here locally keep an eye on because so many people, when this was the only team semi-close, a lot of folks jumped onto that Vegas bandwagon, and they were good very, very quickly. What has the history of you guys taking on Vegas meant, and what does this team present? They have basically the same amount of points as you guys. It's a very, very almost right there, but they could also be a potential matchup in the playoffs against you. Do you guys look at those sorts of things, and what is it to play Vegas down in Vegas for you guys?
Well, one thing at a time. We're not looking at what can happen if the playoff and so on and so forth. I think it's really important we stay on the job, we stay on ball, we stay focused on the present. We're not looking at what can happen in whatever, a week, 2 weeks, or so on and so forth. So that is first. Two, Vegas is a really good, strong physically. They're mature in their decision with and without the puck. They can hurt you by many ways. If it's a kind of a team who they need just a split second, just a rush, or just a no zone play where they will hold on puck and make that key play. So and defensively they're heavy. It's tough to get inside. They are really good in their body position, and they're physical in their battles. So they're a good team. So the thing I just mentioned are normal when you play against a good team. Team will be doing that. So for us, will be to have the same maturity than we had against Dallas. We were really mature. We're consistent in our game, and I think we did a really good job in to stay with it and to be opportunistic.
Another moment in that Dallas game I wanted to ask you about is in the first period, you guys fall behind 1-0, and it feels like Dallas has all the momentum, and all of a sudden Brandon Tanev throws gloves. Jack McBain then gets in a fight, and it felt like the whole game changed. Is there an art or a strategy to when to do that can help a team?
Absolutely.
Because obviously you guys really got a spark from that and took over the game from there.
I totally agree with you. I think ideally, when you're down or when you don't have the momentum, those are perfect timing. But don't forget, you need to be two to dance. It's the same thing for the opponent. When they have the lead and when they're doing good, they don't want to get in those normally. So we got going a little bit after those fights, no doubt about it. And that's a little bit where we were talking earlier about producing and stuff like that. There's other way you can help the team. You talk about Turbo was not in the lineup for a few games. Then he arrived, he got that scrap, get us going a little bit, get a few good body checks. So that's great when you have that kind of a depth and you have guys like Turbo, and you talk about Yami Boehner has a big goal as well in that game. Karks has a big goal. So you get production, or you get contribution, or you get the fight, the body check from everywhere around in the lineup. That'll help a lot.
As you watch this team mature, and you're on the bench helping these guys out night in and night out, what's the thing you've seen about your guys this year that you're like, you know what, we didn't see that last year?
Wow, that's a good question. I think there's what we were able to stay away from is stretch of bad game. I think last year at some point when we had a stretch where things were not going well, it took a little bit longer to get back on track. And the other way around is when we had stretch where things were going well, we could not extend those stretch for long enough. But this year, if you look, we had a stretch early in the season where we win 8 out of 9, and we had another stretch in January where we win 11 out of 13 or 14 games, something like that. So that we were able to extend those period of success. I think that was we were talking about maturity, we were talking about mental toughness, we're talking about being capable of bouncing back if things were not going well. So I think the boys did a really good job to do that.
Coach, I know you're busy, but did you take a break and fill out your bracket?
Mike Folta.
No,
Mike
no.
Folta is he's gonna ask for that $20 and see if you can get involved in the bracket here. You know he's gonna do it.
I'm better to just give the 20 because I have no chance.
Coach, those are the guys that win the brackets.
Yeah,
the ones that don't know anything about college basketball.
My 3-year-old daughter ends up winning our family.
That's easy
poll,
money
so
for
it's
you,
fine.
Coach.
Why not? Why not?
You've got other things to worry about, Coach. So we appreciate you taking some time there. Coach André Tourigny, he's the head coach of the Utah Mammoth. Vegas tomorrow in Vegas. We appreciate you joining us as usual, Coach. We know you have a busy schedule. Hang in there, and thanks for being a part of the program every week.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me. All the best in your bracket.
There you go.
Thanks, Coach. We'll need it.
Well, we'll beat Mike Folta for sure. Jeez.
Yeah, I'm not going to lose that guy.